To the untrained eye, the American economy simply looks like a uniform collection of businesses all playing by the same rules. We assume a massive company generating billions in top-line revenue is inherently strong, but size can be deceiving, and revenue does not equal actual wealth. Tracked by the Census Bureau, the U.S. commercial landscape is driven by diverse biological engines. Today, we are investigating the 4 primary business models that actually drive the nation's GDP. To accurately measure the health of these organizations, we have to look past their top-line sales and examine their metabolic rate. This means looking closely at their gross margins, how efficiently they deploy capital, and their statistical odds of survival in the open market. Grasping this underlying structural architecture is the only reliable way to measure a company's true potential to generate lasting wealth. Imagine a factory where creating your second, third, or millionth product costs absolutely nothing in raw materials, shipping, or physical labor. This is the economic engine behind software as a service, or SaaS. Unlike manufacturing a physical chair or car, the initial cost of writing software code is categorized as an operating expense. Delivering that digital product to one additional user requires almost zero direct delivery costs, known as cost of goods sold. This animated chart shows how that structural advantage plays out in the real world. When comparing a traditional company with a 50% margin to a mature public SaaS business operating at an 80% margin, the difference is stark. On an identical $10 million in revenue, the traditional company retains $5 million. The software business keeps $8 million, but growing that revenue takes heavy investment. This visual also tracks customer acquisition cost, or CAC, the total sales and marketing spend required to land one new paying user. Macroeconomic pressures have stretched this timeline, meaning it takes the median SaaS company 15 to 18 months of a customer's subscription payments just to refill the money spent acquiring them. By detaching the cost of delivery from the price of the product, digital models act as ultimate wealth multipliers, provided the business can keep its acquisition costs under control. Physical storefronts operate on an entirely different set of mathematical rules. Establishing a brick-and-mortar location requires massive upfront capital for commercial leases, physical renovations, and wholesale inventory. Because physical goods have hard production and storage costs, traditional retail operates on razor-thin tolerances, with operating profit margins hovering between a mere 4.5% and 5%. Yet, this sector remains the bedrock of American consumer spending. In 2022, U.S. retail sales surpassed $7 trillion. Wealth here is generated through sheer, massive volume and exceptional inventory turnover rates, selling goods quickly and reinvesting the cash to repeat the cycle. For physical expansion, the franchise model offers a highly efficient alternative. Instead of a parent company taking on crushing debt to build hundreds of locations, they scale using other people's money. The franchisor provides the brand and operational blueprint, while independent local operators provide the capital and daily labor. This decentralized approach drives immense volume across the economy. Franchise establishments are anticipated to support nearly 8.9 million American jobs and generate an estimated $921 billion in economic output. This model extends far beyond fast food. In non-traditional sectors like passenger car leasing, franchises operate with astounding efficiency, generating nearly $787,000 in sales per employee. In the physical economy, massive financial success rarely requires inventing something completely novel. Maximum wealth is frequently generated by perfectly executing a proven operational system using decentralized capital. Now, what happens when the most valuable companies in the world do not actually own the products they sell? This is the domain of networked platform economics. Rather than pushing inventory down a linear supply chain, digital marketplaces act as vast rivers, connecting independent buyers and sellers. The capital flowing through these networks is immense, with U.S. retail e-commerce capturing over $326 billion in just the first quarter of 2026. This pie chart visualizes the extreme concentration of that capital. Amazon controls a dominant 37.6% of the entire U.S. retail e-commerce market, completely dwarfing competitors like Walmart at 6.4% and Apple at just 3.6%. Because they control the flow of traffic, these platforms exact a toll, forcing independent brands to pay transaction and advertising fees just to survive. Navigating those marketplace fees is difficult, but an even deadlier threat stalks the American economy. According to baseline mortality data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, nearly 50% of all new businesses fail by their 5th year. A primary culprit behind these failures is customer concentration risk. This occurs when a disproportionate share of a company's revenue comes from a single client. The Small Business Administration maintains a strict mathematical threshold for this danger. If one customer accounts for more than 10% of total revenue, the business faces material vulnerability. This risk attacks a company in 3 specific ways. First, it causes massive cash flow volatility if that key client reduces orders. Second, it strips away bargaining leverage, allowing the dominant customer to dictate pricing terms. Finally, it triggers a severe 15 to 40% valuation compression when the owner attempts to sell the company, as buyers heavily penalize the associated risk. Whether a business is paying tolls to a marketplace monopoly or relying entirely on a single anchor client, extreme dependency on one revenue source is a mathematically lethal vulnerability. Looking at the macroeconomic data, that 50% failure rate over 5 years is not a flaw in the system. It is the free market's natural mechanism for recycling capital and labor away from inefficient ideas and aggressively reallocating it toward highly optimized models. To survive and scale, you have to follow the blueprint. Rule 1. Match your expectations to your chosen model. If you operate in traditional retail, you must relentlessly optimize for high volume and accept low margins. Rule 2. If you build a digital business, protect your gross margins at all costs, because every dollar saved on infrastructure funds your future growth. Rule 3. Defeat the threat of concentration risk preemptively. If any single client starts approaching 15% of your total revenue, immediately accelerate your sales efforts to acquire smaller accounts and dilute their power over your cash flow. Rule 4. If you want to be an owner but fear the 20% first-year failure rate of new startups, leverage the franchise model. Trading a percentage of your revenue for a proven operational playbook statistically de-risks your entry into entrepreneurship. The deeper you understand the mechanics of these business models, the better equipped you will be to plant your own seeds, grow your own wealth, and thrive. If you like such content, then like, share, and subscribe to the MoneyWise Dollar channel. What topic should we cover next? Let us know in the comments.